climbed a tree next to her room and I couldn't believe my eyes. There she was, naked on the bed. The voices, beginnings. Growing up in Greenville, I always felt different. My parents were fleeting figures in my life, leaving me mostly to my own devices. But I was never truly alone. The voices, my ever-present companions, were always there, guiding, suggesting, demanding. In my early years, they weren't so bad, urging me to steal candies or torment my neighbor's cats. But as I got older, my actions took a darker turn. One year, they told me to set fire to a barn, which I did, burning hundreds of chickens alive. Once I hit teenage years and started to notice girls, the voices changed their demands. It began with regularly creeping into my neighbor's gardens late at night to steal glances of women and girls undressing. But it didn't stop there. A twist of fate. The voices became fixated on a particular person, Clara, my attractive blonde classmate. They whispered endlessly about her, urging me to get closer, to truly know her. One warm summer night, I found myself drawn to her house. I climbed a tree next to her room, and I couldn't believe my eyes. There she was, naked on the bed. My wildest fantasy, Mary, feet away from me. Her window was ajar, so I slowly opened it further, careful not to make any sound. Soon I was inside the room, silently admiring her beauty. The voices were in control now, and before I knew it, I was naked too. My hands exploring her body, experiencing all of her most intimate areas. But my joy was short-lived. Clara certainly stirred, her eyes widening in horror as they met mine. She screamed a piercing sound that shattered the silence of the night. Panic surged through me. The voices screamed at me to flee, but it was too late. The door burst open, and her father rushed in. His face a mix of anger and fear. The next moments were a blur of shouts, accusations, and fists. I don't remember how long I was unconscious for, but I came around to the sound of flashing lights of police cars. The swift court proceedings that followed were somewhat confusing for me. The witnesses and testimonies painted a picture of me as a violent, predatory monster, accusing me of wicked sexual crimes, but in my memory, I was nothing but gentle with Clara that evening. I explained it was the voices that drove me, and maybe because of this, they decided that a psychiatric facility was better than a prison. Unexpected bonds. The facility was a cold, sterile place. The monotony days soon began to blur, marked only by the routine administration of drugs meant to silence the voices and stabilize my mind. It was during one of those group therapy sessions that I first noticed Anna. She was beautiful with raven black hair and piercing blue eyes. The voices, which had been subdued by the medication, stirred with curiosity. Anna was there for her own set of challenges. She spoke of her traumatic events that had shattered her trust in the world. Our shared experiences in the facility and the struggle with our inner demons created an unspoken bond between us. As we began to spend more time together, the voices became louder. Some saw Anna as a beacon of hope, but others mistrusted her, believing that she was just pretending to like me. Unraveling Secrets. Every time I looked at Anna, the voices clashed, some singing her praises while others casting doubts. The uncertainty was maddening. I needed to know the truth about her. So one evening, I approached Anna with a seemingly innocent request. "There's a place I'd like to show you," I whispered. She hesitated for a moment, but her curiosity got the better of her, and she followed. The room was secluded, away from prying eyes. As soon as we were inside, I acted swiftly, wedging a chair against the door, ensuring she couldn't leave. "I love you, Anna, and now we can finally be together." She struggled at first, screamed at me to stop, but the voices told me that this is what she wanted. After a while, she just lay there frozen while I had my way with her. Incredibly, she tasted even sweeter than Clara. Suddenly, the door burst open and the facility staff rushed in. They wrestled me to the floor and led Anna away. I caught a glimpse of her face as she was leaving, a look of betrayal etched into her features. The weight of my actions crashed down on me. What had I done? The voices, once so loud and demanding, now fell silent, leaving me alone with the consequences of my actions. Letters in the dark. The aftermath of that night was swift. I was moved to the part of the facility where they keep only the most dangerous sexual predators. The isolation was suffocating, and the weight of my actions pressed heavily on my chest. Just when I thought I'd be swallowed by the abyss of my own guilt, a glimmer of hope arrived one night in the form of a folded piece of paper pushed under my cell door. It was a letter from Anna. She wrote of her initial shock, but also of understanding. She spoke of the challenges we both faced within these walls and a love that couldn't be broken by one dark moment. She explained how one of the facility's cleaners was passing on the letters that I should write back to her. The letters became our lifeline, and as days turned into weeks, a plan began to take shape. With the help of the cleaner and the cover of the night, we figured out a way to end our misery. The end. The nights were the hardest, but that night was different. The silence was profound, interrupted only by the soft click of my cell door unlocking. I stepped out, the cold floor sending shivers up my spine. The cleaner had kept his word. Anna was waiting for me in the kitchen, her eyes reflecting the mix of fear and hope. Our plan was about to unfold. We sat there for a moment in the silence of the kitchen, our hands intertwined. The cold steel of the tabletop sent chills through our bodies, yet in that moment, a warmth radiated between us. The voices were silent, and for the first time in years, a serene calmness washed over me. "Are you ready to leave this world now, Anna?" "Yes," she replied. The next morning, our lifeless bodies were discovered. They were laid hand in hand, a testament to a bond that rose above the confines of our existence. There were no signs of violence, no indication of how we managed to commit suicide. It was as if our souls had simply chosen to depart, to escape the prison of our minds and bodies and find the freedom we so desperately sought.